I tend
step
to,
behind?
I'm a very nosy person, right?
Yeah.
Before I started Duck, I was doing my research into all the big startups. And at the time, there were a couple of huge startups I won't name, but they were going through they were just reducing the operations or they were shutting down.
Yeah.
And there was so much scrutiny from other Africans, other African organizations, other African podcasts, newsletters, etc. And it's always, you had this much money, how did you burn through that? How did you burn through that, etc. And when I first started, I was just like, damn, that's a lot of money. Like, you raised how many millions? And then now you're telling me you have nothing? What did you buy? But then when I became a founder, I was like, oh, okay. Okay, now I see. So there's two facets of this. The first is founder market fit, which most people don't like talking about.
Yeah.
Is that founder right for this problem?
For the problem, yeah.
Do they have the experience needed? Most people who become successful founders in the US and the UK or Europe, they worked in corporate.
Yeah.
They spent 10 to 15 years in stellar
Building the
organizations
skill.
learning how to butter and bread budgets, which are way more than fundraising rounds. I held a budget that's way more than what I'm fundraising right now. And I was a junior engineer at Rolls-Royce, right? Meaning a lot of startup founders are below the age of 30, don't have much corporate experience. They start startups because it's what other opportunity do I have? But then to get yourself from pre-seed and seed to Series A, you need to find product market fit.
Yeah.
Right? You need to go from experimenting to this is now an establishment, this is my business model, these are my customers, this is my growth model. And if I've taken VC money, I need to do that like yesterday.
Yeah.
Right? But they're very young, they're very immature, and it's not their fault that they don't have that experience.
Yeah.
So chances are is that they're gonna make bad financial decisions. They're not gonna obviously spend all their money on a holiday, right? But they might hire wrong. Hire one wrong person, you know the difference when you're trying to pay your salary, right? Or they might build a product that nobody wants, then they have to keep pivoting, but then you run out of money in that process. And right now, dev salaries are $60,000 in Nairobi. Why? Because now you have Google here, you have Microsoft here, they're driving up the prices.
There's remote work.
There's remote working. So you can imagine if one dev is 60,000, you can see how $1 million can go by very quickly without you having found a strategy that works, that makes money, right? So I think the population itself is still very young. Founders are young. The average founder that becomes a millionaire in the US, the UK is 40. But we don't have that yet because we've only just started the ecosystem in the past, 10, 15 years?
True.
And then the second is also product market fit, which is about 90% of startups statistically will fail, right?
Yeah.
The difference between them failing here and them failing abroad is abroad it's celebrated. You know, VCs are like, you're a second time founder, take more money. Because you failed something, which means you must have learned something, which means the second time you do it, you're gonna get further. Maybe you tank at pre-seed, the next startup seed, the next startup Series A, before then you end up with a unicorn.